All views and opinions expressed in this podcast are not meant to offend or hurt the sentiments of, including, but not limited to, any person, dead or alive, religion or ethnic group, community or country. The primary purpose of this podcast is to build a cultural bridge and shed light on the similarities that we share with our friends from across the border. Welcome to another episode of 883 to Infinity. We're here to talk about music today on today's episode that we're calling Music to My Ears.
So today we have two really special guests. The first from India is Stuart Dcosta, also known as Stu. Stu is a Bombay-based musician and producer, and he made his entry into the music scene with a jam band called Something Relevant. Quickly started producing right after that under various banners, including Dirty J's, and eventually the Salvage Audio Collective. Most recently, Stu was part of the crew that scored for the popular Bollywood hit Gully Boy, starring Ranveer Singh. Stu also plays basketball, tennis, and is pretty famous for riding his cycle all around the city, or rather infamous, I must say.
Thanks for that, Umair. Our Pakistani guest today actually needs no introduction. He is the very popular Pakistani film actor Junaid Khan. Of course, he made his claim to fame back in the day when he was a frontman and the lead vocalist for the band Call, which, Umair, I'm sure you know, is also a very popular band in India back in the day, which released two very successful commercial albums. Of course, he's done a bunch of serials after that, which has skyrocketed his popularity with the women in Pakistan, is what I hear. And then, of course, he did the very famous character of Dr. Talal Sikandar in the 2017 hit drama Sunyara, which actually made him who he is today. So very excited to be chatting with both these gentlemen on their musical journeys that they've had so far, and looking forward for them sharing their musical insights on jamming together. Welcome, guys.
Hello, कैसे हैं सब ठीक ठाक? All good, yeah. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much.
Right.
So, Stu, we met several years ago when you were in Xavier's. You were doing a band at that time called The Other People. Long time it's been since you've been jamming and making music. Junaid, what's been your musical background? When did you start jamming? When did you start making music? What was your introduction to your musical journey?
Well, I started off as a garage singer. It was probably like around 98 or 99 or 2000 when I started off jamming with मेरा किराएदार ऊपर रहता था, and he was a guitar player. He was a guitar player from Lums. So he wasn't a singer at all. So वो मेरे पास आता था कि यार चलो let's jam, but I can't sing, so you sing. I said okay, fine. So I started singing. That's what I kind of found out कि oh, I have this kind of कीड़ा कहते हैं ना जो कि है मेरे अंदर इसका गाने का कीड़ा है. So I was an introvert child, so I was actually looking for a medium to express. So I found that medium in my voice, और वहाँ मुझे expression मिला. I started opening up as a person as well. I started jamming, practicing with those friends. फिर मुझे और लोग मिले, common friends मिले. Started practicing jamming with them. Did some house gigs, private जो अपनी आसपास की दोस्त की parties होती हैं. Started playing there. और याद है उस वक्त जुनून के covers करते थे, strings के covers कर लेते होते थे. Vital Signs, popular band from Pakistan. A couple of songs from Bollywood. I guess we had only access to Bollywood, still have. So Bollywood जो था वो उसके कुछ गाने कर लेते होते थे. So that's how I started off. Then I met a couple of people who introduced me to the Call band के initial members. That's where I was formally auditioned. I sang a couple of really progressive alternative bands like Creed, Stained, Incubus. इस type के गाने मैंने गाए. So उनका they were into Deep Purple initially, the previous lineup. So when they heard how I am, they actually changed their entire philosophy and thought कि भाई अब हम progressive ही करेंगे. So
Nice.
But that's how Call की journey शुरू हुई around 2002. Or we've done 2 albums and many singles. I have done quite a lot of singles as a solo artist. I've done a lot of OSTs. काफी कुछ किया है in terms of music.
Nice.
Epic, dude.
So that sums
When
it
do you
up.
start writing the stuff, your own music?
Writing हमने शुरू कर दी थी. I think the first song was Nishan. That was written by Zulfi's elder brother Haider. I think the first album was majorly written by Haider. Of course, उससे inspiration लेके, and I wrote a couple of songs. Zulfi Sultan, we co-wrote a couple of songs. So I think the पहली album थी was mainly Haider bhai, Danish, Zulfi's elder brother, and us combined. Second album में फिर हमने किए गाने मिलके किए. Sab Bhula Ke was my first as writer. गाना था मेरा. Sab Bhula Ke was my first as writer. उसके बाद फिर और भी लिखे. But सब भुला के साथ तो मुझे एक स्टोरी भी याद आती है जो कि I remember we had a show in Jodhpur. It was back in 2008, 2009.
Nice.
show था जोधपुर में. We were invited कि यार एक आपने बजाना है एक I don't know किसकी थी, बजाज वाले थे या टाटा वाले थे, I don't know, I don't remember.
I think it was a literature festival, wasn't it?
No, it was a
music
private mehendi. It was like a mehendi function, like it's a
बजाज वाले
wedding
होंगे
function. Maybe वो जोधपुर में थी and
Just
वहाँ पे
kidding.
पूरी हवेली, पहले हाथियों का पहले वो हुआ, पोलो मैच हुआ थी, एक ब्राइड की साइड थी, एक ग्रूम की साइड थी, सो एक पोलो मैच हुआ, सारा उनकी सारी वो चीजें हुई. उसके बाद फिर हम इवेंट पे आए. इवेंट पे टैज जो था स्टीर नेशन वो था और हम थे. सो जब हम बजा रहे थे तो दे वर आस्किंग फॉर सब बुला के अगेन एंड अगेन, कि सब बुला के सब बुला के अगेन करें. सो बाद में पता चला कि सब बुला के वाज एक्चुअली द कपल्स जैम. वो जब मिले थे तो वो दे फेल इन लव, सब बुला के बज रहा था एंड दे फेल इन लव. सो ये इस तरह की स्टोरी मैंने काफी सुनी सब बुला के बारे में कि यार सब बुला के वाज आवर जैम बिकॉज़ हम we actually fell in love while we were actually listening to that track. So one memory that I could say कि कितना कॉमन है हमारे दोनों के बीच में कि हमारी जो लैंग्वेज है, हमारी जो इमोशंस हैं वो इतने मिलते हैं कि हम मतलब इतने कनेक्टेड हैं कि इमोशंस भी लोग कनेक्ट कर लेते हैं आपस में.
यार
So
हाँ,
true,
ये
man.
सब बुला के की खास बात है क्योंकि I resonate with this. I haven't heard this before. It's good to hear it from the horse's mouth. But my wife and I think that it's our jam. ये क्या बकवास है?
चलो यार, नहीं, I'm glad I made a lot of I'm responsible for a lot of babies in this world.
That's an interesting deal.
No, that's the role music plays actually.
Making babies?
In indirect ways, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Facilitates, right?
Yeah, it opens the heart, man. You know, like
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
the possibility.
So
If only it was limited to only the heart and not the pants. No.
yes.
No, it's all connected. Yeah, सब चीजें connected है आपस में.
Stu, what about you? Where did you find your Kida? When was it born? Was it born before or after you had your stint in advertising? Something.
Oh man, it was
relevant? When did
happening.
that come
It was
into the
happening
picture?
simultaneously actually, because I got into Xavier's college and I was like a really like introverted man. Like I came from an all boys school where I was just like totally uncool, you know, like the guy that everyone picked on, just fine, a bit of a stereotype. And then Xavier's college, I was like exposed to so many things, man. Like they have a theater program, they have a music program, they have
Is that the
Indian
same
classical
Xavier's?
music.
वो जो same Xavier's जो
हर movie में
जो
होता
था
है.
वो सिकंदर में जो था.
हर movie में रहता है.
हर movie.
Yeah.
I actually went there, Junaid, and I saw it in Mumbai. I'm like, हाँ, ये हर movie में होता है. Yay! Yeah, it's a beautiful building.
It's quite a vibe, man. And yeah, so like I think like some of my friends, one of my basketball buddies who I was playing basketball with in the college team, Tanmay, he was like, let's start a band, bro. And I was like, dude, come on, karte hain. Because I wanted to like be in everything. And then the bug bit me hard, dude, because like we started getting gigs straight out of college. So I was like making some serious buck just from like playing gigs at 16, 17. So I was like feeling like, you know, like, yo, this is on. And so we kept gigging, and then I got a job after like finished college in a pretty prestigious ad agency called Ogilvy. But then, so much money, you know, like what do you do with that actually? But then you realize that shit, man, this is soul sucking, and it's and I have this other ulterior lifestyle which is kind of happening simultaneously, and we're playing everywhere. And then I come back to this desk and I'm like, oh, you know, am I even really doing this? And so there came a point where I was like, you know, I'm just gonna like bite the bullet and do this full time. And yeah, and I've haven't looked back since, man.
काफी common story है मेरी. Maybe I did 9 to 5 for a good 7 to 8 years. Because I'm an engineer and MBA, so मैंने उसके बाद 9 to 5 काफी किया for companies, quite a few companies. So फिर मैं music भी साथ में कर रहा था. We were traveling, we were touring, and I was somehow managing my day job. लेकिन फिर at one point of time, 2010 में फिर I think when I got acting offers, then I think I decided that I can't really do 9 to 5 anymore. And that's when I took that leap of faith and left my 9 to 5 and
yeah, dude, your acting career is like flying right now, no? Like,
वो
are you
हाँ,
like shooting constantly?
Constantly. But yeah, it keeps me busy and I like it. So as long as it's your passion, then
मगर ये leap of
मजा
faith
आता है
वाला
फिर.
ये I don't know, like Suveer and I haven't had this leap of faith. We still work in a company, even though it's our own company.
That's why, dude. That's your leap of faith. You know, you get
मगर the 9 to 5
Exactly.
is there. वो वाली desk नहीं है. ये हमारे कमरे में desk है. अब lockdown में यही हो रहा है. But like, how do you guys how do artists find I mean, I understand the lure, right? Because you create something, I understand that. But how do you like, and in Southeast Asian culture, it's always, क्या कोई ये नहीं बोलता कि मैं बड़े होके सिंगर बनूंगा, एक्टर बनूंगा. अगर बोलते भी है तो बाकी सब लोग बोलते गेट रियल मैन, कम ऑन, व्हाट आर द चांसेस. पहले ये होता था कि नहीं ये तो करियर पाथ नहीं है. फिर दूसरा है कि आप कोशिश करोगे मगर क्या हो जाएगा. So how do you guys, like the two of you, actually gather the guts to do this? I mean, it's more than I could muster.
For me, it was mathematical. Actually, it was. I mean, if I did the pros and cons of like how much money I was making in both realms, and if I actually like did more of that, could I make more money? And then I weighed it, and I was like, yo, it's not that much of a price hit if I'm doing it early in my career. If I do it later on, it's going to become more and more of a difference, and I'm going to feel really, really shit about it. So I was like, just do this, bite the bullet early on. The longer you're in it, the more you have to like offer also, I feel. Like right now, I mean, because I was in an indie band and I gained the skills of being a music producer, I'm able to help background score for films. We just won an award recently, a Filmfare award. I don't know if it like...
इतनी छोटी चीज नहीं है.
Sounds like you're saying that.
Okay, you know it.
Stu is very nonchalant. He's like, cool. I mean, just the film fair.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what like. For me, it's across the border also. Like, it's like, what is Filmfare? Yeah, it's a magazine. It was a magazine. And anyway, so I get to pivot into this other realm because I've had so much experience making music. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there's music. I mean, there's so much music. Honestly, like, I do end up doing a lot of advertising work for money. But
we all sell.
I see the irony in that. You see the irony in that. It's like so weird. Quit to get away from it, but now it's still there.
But Junaid, what about you? I mean, you said that you were an engineer and an MBA. You had a 9 to 5. How come you finally decided to take a pivot and make music your mainstay? Obviously, until acting took over, more recently. How did you decide to take the pivot and quit your potentially high-paying corporate job that could have made you a CEO of some big multinational at some point in time?
I know, but CEO ban ke bhi I wouldn't have earned this much. So yeah.
So it boils down.
It's the rokda, bro. It's the rokda.
Well, it's still yeah. Luckily, it rokda as well. Luckily, because of course, जो हमारा passion है, if it's making us good money, then we're lucky.
Why would you go to a 9 to 5 then? You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. Right. So yeah, so we're lucky. I would call myself lucky in this way. कि जो passion है, वो it's making us money as well. So वो भी था. Plus, I was feeling very divided. Of course, music में we have a different. I don't know. It's not different personality नहीं कह सकता. But yes, we work differently. We operate differently. We have emotional mindset फर्क है. And then you go to a 9 to 5, and then you have to really change that mindset because you're reporting to somebody. So वो एक और mindset है. फिर then of course आपके आसपास वाले जो हैं वो उनके भी एक pre-assumed mindset है कि oh he's a rock star. इसका तो नखरा ही कुछ और होगा. So they have another mindset. So वो it's an entirely different emotional अजीब सा. So उसको I think I wanted to get out of that as well. I was actually looking for something or maybe an opportunity कि यार how I can just put my both feet in one place rather than dividing myself emotionally, physically. So I think when I found that window, or television जब हुआ मुझे, तो फिर I think I found that window कि that's also a creative outlet that I could use. Which is similar to, not exactly, but quite similar to what I'm already into. So फिर मैंने कहा कि हाँ अब right time है. और I was looking for the right script. पहले मुझे आती थी scripts because also moving from Lahore to Karachi itself was a big move because Lahore and Karachi are both opposite ends. Family being in Lahore and Karachi में कोई जानने वाला नहीं, कोई relative नहीं. So kind of a move थी एक और जगह रहना. So I actually वही बात है, calculated decision था, passion as well financially. So yeah, I think I took
That's
that.
good, dude.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
it's working fine. Yeah, it's working
Absolutely.
fine so far.
But did you grow up in a musical family? Did you have some early inspiration? Mom, dad, any siblings? Was anyone musically inclined? Anyone played anything?
नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं था. म्यूजिक में नहीं था, लेकिन मदर वाज अ फाइन आर्ट्स की गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट. सो शी हैज, उनके अंदर थी वो एक आर्टिस्ट की एक, एंड शी डिड सम थिएटर एज वेल कॉलेज में. सो हल्का फुल्का वो, आई थिंक वो टैलेंट आर्ट फॉर्म थी फैमिली में, बट कोई मेरी फैमिली से एक्टर नहीं है, कोई म्यूजिशियन नहीं था. आई एम प्रोबब्ली द फर्स्ट इन माय खानदान, इंटायर खानदान जो कि इस फील्ड में आया. और आया भी कब, मैं यूनिवर्सिटी में, आई थिंक मैं जब यूनिवर्सिटी में था कॉलेज के थर्ड ईयर में, तब मेरी फैमिली को भी, मेरे पेरेंट्स को भी आइडिया नहीं था कि मैं कोई इस तरह म्यूजिक में इन्वॉल्व हूँ. लेकिन मैं कहता था कि हाँ मैं जा रहा हूँ, जैम करने जा रहा हूँ, प्रैक्टिस करने जा रहा हूँ, बट दे weren't really serious कि अच्छा ये चलो टाइम पास पे कर रहा है. लेकिन जब मेरा पहला गाना आया और जब चीजें सामने आना शुरू हुई, तब दे एक्चुअली वर काइंड ऑफ worried भी as well कि यार ये इस तरफ जा रहा है, तो ये पढ़ रहा है कि नहीं पढ़ रहा है. My dad actually went to my college, मेरे डीन से मुलाकात की और पूछा कि इसके रिजल्ट्स. डीन said कि नहीं, he's fine, he's actually above average, so आपको टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. Then he was like okay fine. So मैंने अपनी डिग्री कंप्लीट की, इंजीनियरिंग की, एमबीए किया, जॉब की. So I think वही चेकलिस्ट होती है पेरेंट्स की कि यार इसने पढ़ाई कंप्लीट की है, अच्छा अब ये जॉब्स कर रहा है. फिर जब एक बच्चा बड़ा हो जाता है, तब वो अपनी डिसीजंस खुद ले सकता है. I think I was old enough to make that decision कि हाँ अब मैं ये चीजें कर सकता हूँ. And it was working fine financially as well, so फिर I think they didn't really interfere.
I mean, that's great, man. You have like encouraging parents, you know. I feel like that's, I mean, not encouraging also, but like letting you make decisions for yourself as well. You know, that's.
हाँ, वही वाली बात कि फिर I actually took control of a lot of things. यानी कि मैंने फिर अपने पेरेंट्स से पैसे भी लेना छोड़ दिए, एजुकेशन, कॉलेज में सब कुछ. So I was financially independent as well. So I think that's what made it quite easy for them as well. कि यार बच्चा financially stable हो चुका है, he's earning, he's done his degrees, he has a backup plan as well. So why not?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's awesome. And I think it's really refreshing for, at least for Umair and me to be sitting on this side of the spectrum and talking to, people who've been in the creative space and the art space, who are creators and artists, who are saying that, look, we checked out financially. And I think that's a very big one because, we've been talking to filmmakers and artists, and everyone talks about the struggle and how the struggle is so real when you're a creator and you're an artist who's, at least in the early days, and both of you guys started when you were very, very young, still in college, and I guess gave you the spectrum to kind of learn and experiment and find your jam. But I think it's beautiful to hear your success stories, to know that what has accelerated this and what has kept it going, of course, is the financial stability that this has put, not only to make this lifestyle, but to make this your actual livelihood as well. I think and because we're both from an advertising background, and we know what the challenges that kind of imposes in terms of employment and long-term sustainability. I think it's a wonderful kind of start off this conversation with.
It is nice. Yes, when Stu was talking, I picked it up. Like he when he said indie musician, indie band, there was this sense of pride, right? So mainstream. Maybe I run an indie agency. Maybe indie agency. We're an independent agency, but affiliates. So
I mean, I've been on both sides now.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a certain pride in being independent because that becomes your job. Like I feel like if you're an independent band, like you guys are promoting yourself, you're like putting your music out yourself, you're organizing your own gigs, you're getting to your own gigs, doing your own logistics. It's a lot of work. And then recently I started playing with this band. I'm not recently, 5 years ago, called the Yellow Diary. And within the first within the first 6 months of playing, we got signed, and it's been the total dream to not have to do it also.
So guys, I want to take a step back into flashback into memory lane, and of course you guys have a few fond memories in common as well. When you guys took the stage together, so as to speak. Junaid,
Yes.
when you were in India,
that was fun.
and that's when you guys actually met and jammed together. So I'd love to hear that story from both perspectives to kind of explore, what that experience meant to both of you. Junaid, you want to go first?
Yeah, it was very good. We were really excited. हमें पता चला कि हम एक Indian band के साथ जाके हमने करना है और the Soundclash itself, the concept was so good, so engaging for us as well and also for the audience. As a fan as well, हमें था कि बड़ा मजेदार concept है. तो हम बड़े excited थे और हमने जब band को इनको observe करना शुरू किया तो totally jazz. So we're totally a different, altogether a different. Like ये तो totally different scene है. So हमें जब पता चला कि हमें ये करना है.
It was a jam band. We could like.
Well,
Yeah,
jazz is like a far stretch, like like I feel like.
You're right.
Because the horns, everyone sees a saxophone player, trombone player, they're like jazz.
yeah.
You're right. Though. So वो एक हमने कहा चलो इनके साथ कोलैबोरेट करना है फिर वो चीज़ हमने मिलके भी करनी है और हमने करनी है. So it was like हम था कि प्रोसेस बड़ा मजेदार होगा बस बिकॉज हमने सिर्फ जाके बजाना नहीं है एक क्रिएटिव हमने प्रैक्टिस करना है आपस में जैम करना है एक नई चीज़ बनानी है इन्वॉल्व होना है आपस में एक नया स्टेज नया न्यू क्राउड. सो बहुत एक अच्छा एक्साइटेड थे हम. फिर हम गए वहाँ पे बैंगलोर हमने आपस में जैम किया जैम रूम था वहाँ पे जैम किया अपने गाने सुनाए इनके गाने सुने. It was a great experience. फिर जो परफॉर्मेंस का जो था परफॉर्म किया हमने वहाँ पे क्राउड का जो मजा था जो क्राउड का जो शोर था from both sides.
Dude, Junaid, I was trying to remember who was your. I forgot. Yeah, like I remember the whole event. Who was your guest artist? You guys had one guest artist, na?
हाँ वो मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा.
Was it a guitar player?
It was a
guitar player. Was it Bruce Lee?
I don't know. Maybe. मुझे उसका कार्ड की पड़ा हुआ था कि मेरे पास अब I don't remember, but what a kick-ass guitar player यार. He was और उसने We Will Rock You हमने किया था उसको हमने बुलाया था on stage और उसने फैला दिया था गाने को. और याद है उसके बाद हम एक और शो पे गए थे. तुम लोग शायद थे कि नहीं थे. हम गए थे उसके बाद एक और शो हो रहा था वहाँ पे बैंगलोर में. It was a huge gig हो रहा था और
yeah, it was really far away though, na? It was like some 45 minutes away.
Maybe half an hour 45 minutes away था. पूरा वो बड़ा गिग था और उसमें एक पॉपुलर रॉक बैंड था परिक्रमा और परिक्रमा में सैफ जो था सैफ खान was playing with परिक्रमा as a rhythm player
happening at the same time. Yeah.
So वहाँ पे हम गए और तो huge stage और शोर मचा हुआ है और सैफ आए हुए और जी सैफ ने announce किया है कि this is going to be my last track और उसके बाद परिक्रमा ने एक और गाना करना था. So सैफ ने I don't know वो गाना मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा वो वाला था गाना.
Smoke on the water.
Deep Purple वो उसने किया और उसके बाद the moment he left the crowd left. So
that's the problem with Bombay, man. I mean with India. I mean not Bombay, with Bangalore also. I didn't know it was like so Bollywood obsessed.
So yeah, but coming back to the show, I think the performing with you guys, was so much fun. We had such fond memories from that entire experience. Traveling to India, meeting you guys, or playing, performing in front of the crowd. It was fun.
उसमें वो होता है जैसे क्रिकेट में होता है होम ग्राउंड एडवांटेज और ये लोग जीत गए.
Everything comes
back. So I remember.
Dude, so the whole point of the Soundclash was that the audience decides like who wins the rounds, right?
Yeah.
So the first, I think, the first round was your own song, right?
हाँ पहला हमने अपना परफॉर्म करना था फिर उसके बाद हमने अपने गाने को किसी और जॉनरा में करना था.
Yeah. So then you all start the song and then we'll finish it like that round, na?
ऐसा भी कुछ था. हाँ.
I think I remember we did Pukar and you did this song called Tomorrow by Something Relevant. I remember.
हाँ.
Kill. Man, I need to get that footage from Red Bull. Yeah. It's a fun gig.
हाँ we did Red Bull Soundclash अभी recently a year or 2 years ago in Pakistan as well. So उसमें it was Ali Azmat versus Strings, but we were the wild card for Ali Azmat. And
nice.
हमने Ali Azmat के साथ फिर खड़े होके perform किया. The footage is there. हमने कहीं upload भी की होगी probably on our pages as well. उसमें हमने जुनून का गाना किया था. Standing with Ali Azmat के साथ खड़े होके उसके स्टेज पे उसका गाना गाया साथ में. वो एक और experience था. So that's what collaborations do to you. It's always fun to collaborate with other artists जो भी different genre के भी Because music ये है ना, music तो आप जितना आप share करते हैं, इतना flow करते हैं दूसरे की boundaries में, उतना ही एक larger than life experience बन जाता है.
Absolutely. Stu, what
Yeah,
was your
it was
fondest?
really amazing.
What was your fondest memory from Soundclash?
I feel like, I mean, I didn't have this whole safe moment. I'm fully jealous now that I didn't come for that. Like, just straight up. Like, we were in the hotel room. I think our wild card was this guy called Amit Thomas, who plays in this band called Junkyard Groove. And Amit is literally a wild card. He was just a like raging party animal. So we had no choice but to kind of get swept up with that. We kind of like ended up taking him in his bed, dragging his mattress into the elevator,
No
and
way.
then letting him be there for the rest of the night. He woke up in the elevator in the morning.
Are you serious?
Dude, we were rowdy. Yeah. We were rowdy back in the rowdy days. And also, this is a Red Bull event. All of us have drunk like 10 to 12 Red Bulls minimum.
Of course. Why?
Just from it being around there. Yeah. So you make stupid decisions when you're like on Red Bull for sure.
Of course. Of course.
But dude, jamming with the call and kind of like getting to know the band, Zulfi, Ken, Frodo. I think Frodo is
Frodo
his real name is Farhan.
Fawad.
Fawad became Frodo only.
Frodo was Fawad. वो rhythm पे था. Farhan was on bass. Ken was on drums. And me and Zulfi.
Ken was a class. I mean, they're all amazing, dude. I mean, I keep posting on Ken's pages even now. When he shits on the bass player a lot, like in his posts. I was like, I can't stand for this guy.
नहीं तो ये I just want to know ये Soundclash था. So Junaid, you guys were the only Pakistani like act on in that event, right?
Exactly, यही purpose था ना उसका. यहाँ से हम पाकिस्तान से हम थे.
India versus Pakistan, bro. The clash.
I've never heard of like this sort of an Indian band coming. I mean, pretty cool, you know. If
यार उस जमाने में तो we were just उधर जा रहे थे, यहाँ पे आ रहे थे. So वो उस जमाने में तो बहुत free. It was back in 2008, 2000 maybe 2007, 2008 वाला.
8 से पहले होगा क्योंकि 8 के बाद थोड़ा सा वो हो गया था. हाँ.
Maybe. Yeah, exactly. हाँ. No, 2009 में हुआ था. मुझे अच्छी तरह याद है. 2009 में हमने जब वो था हो जाने दे हमने किया था. जो यूनिलीवर का जो सॉन्ग था. यूनिलीवर का भी कॉन्सेप्ट ये था कि यहाँ से पाकिस्तान से एक बैंड और इंडिया से एक आर्टिस्ट एक आता है. We shoot there in Bombay. So हमसे पहले जल ने किया था. उसमें जल था और वहाँ से एक एक्ट्रेस थी. मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा नाम. मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा. तो वो एज अ मॉडल आई थी एंड यहाँ से जल गया था एंड दे शॉट देयर इन बॉम्बे. पूरा गाना था उनका. सो वो एक यूनिलीवर की कैंपेन थी. हमने यहाँ से जाना था. और वहाँ से श्रुति ने हमारे साथ, श्रुति हसन ने परफॉर्म करना था हमारे साथ और वो कोलैबोरेट करना था. फिर 2009 में फिर जो ताज में जो हुआ था इंसिडेंट, उसके बाद फिर वो चीज हो गई थी. सो आई थिंक दिस रेड बुल वाज प्रोबब्ली अराउंड 2008 2007. हमने उससे पहले हमने प्रीतम के स्टूडियो में भी रिकॉर्ड किया था. ये भी 2007-8 की बात है. एक गाना था जो कि यहाँ पे एक टेलीकॉम का था और वो लेकिन वो रिकॉर्ड वहाँ पे किया. सो मी एंड जुल्फी हम वहाँ गए. वहाँ पे हमने सारा वहाँ पे प्रीतम के स्टूडियो में सारा अरेंज हुआ. वहीं पे सारा ऑडियो बना. वी ब्रॉट बैक बॉम्बे में. हाँ वो ना उस जमाने में तो उस वक्त तो फिर इट वाज हियर एंड देयर. पीपल वो यहाँ से यहाँ वहाँ से वहाँ जा रहे थे. गुड टाइम्स मैन. तो हाँ काफी दफा हमने शोज भी किए. आई थिंक वी परफॉर्म्ड इन चैनल वी का एक शो था, बिग वी कॉन्सर्ट. well 2006 maybe before that. उसमें पाकिस्तान से हम गए थे. आतिफ था, रेत एक बैंड था, इंडिया से शान था, बप्पी लहरी और कौन थे और भी काफी लोग थे. सो बिग वी एक शो, चैनल वी का एक बिग बड़ा शो था इन बॉम्बे. सो आई गेस हाँ वो भी कैलाश खेर भी था उसमें.
Correct. Yeah, but Bombay, I mean, I guess Bombay is where all the recording happens because of Bollywood, and I think
I wish we were called.
Sorry, I think Stu, you've frozen.
I think I was just saying that I'm just like super jealous of you, man. You've been to India so many times. I've never once been to.
I think that's what I was arising.
The window is shut. The window is shut now.
No,
indie. Coming back to your indie music. हमने थोड़ा mainstream music किया था. That's why.
Otherwise also, Junaid, it feels like,
Shooting.
like
Nice.
you said, it seems like those were the good old days where you could like collaborate over the border, and now it
Of
just
course,
seems
yeah.
like, everything turns into this matchstick that just lights up the whole thing.
वही ना, एक वही अजीब एक well, the world politics हमारी ऐसी है, we can't really do anything about it. दुनिया में चीजें जैसा shape हो रही हैं, we are just, हम सिर्फ pawns हैं जो कि effect हो रहे हैं, जो कि इन पे effect आता है. I really wish and hope कि ये world politics थोड़ी सी stability की तरफ जाए and we reach a space जहाँ पे at least art को जो है वो थोड़ा सा forgive कर दिया जाए कि at least हम उस फ्रेम से बाहर निकलें कि यार हम तो कम से कम काम कर सकें, हम ट्रैवल कर सकें, परफॉर्म कर सकें. Because art shouldn't have boundaries, and art को limit नहीं होना चाहिए political scenario के साथ, link नहीं होना चाहिए. That's what I feel.
Oh, absolutely. On the subject of Bombay, actually, Bombay, of course, is the heart of everything good and everything bad that starts with Bollywood. And I think both of you guys have had a tryst with Bollywood. Stu, we'll come to you. We'll come to you more recently, of course, with the Filmfare Award that you'll tell us about. But Junaid, you scored a film called Ek Chalis Ki Aakhri Local some time ago, a few years ago. Why don't you tell us what that experience was like? Working on a Bollywood film, scoring for Abhay Deol, if I'm not mistaken, right?
अबे देवल की फिल्म थी और उसमें ये गाना था. फिर एक उसके बाद जुल्फी ने एक और गाना भी किया था उसकी आफ्ताब की फिल्म के लिए, धड़के जिया, वो भी किया था. तो यार बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था. ऑफ कोर्स हमने उसकी शूट के लिए भी आए थे. वी केम टू बॉम्बे धड़के जिया के लिए ही हम शूट के लिए भी आए थे. वहाँ पे हमने वो मुकेश मिल्स में, याद है मुझे, बड़ा स्टूडियो, वहाँ पे हमने शूट किया था. एक 40 की लास्ट लोकल के लिए नहीं हम आए थे उसके लिए. हाँ तो अच्छा, वो उस वक्त मुझे याद है वो बॉम्बे का बार जिक्र आया, बॉलीवुड का जिक्र आया था ना उस वक्त. उस मुकेश मिल्स में एक्चुअली वो गाना भी एक फिल्म के लिए था, लेकिन उस वक्त ही सिंग इज किंग की शूट भी चल रही थी साथ में. अक्षय एंड कतरीना वर आल्सो साथ वाले स्टूडियो में वो भी थे. सो ये कि अच्छा लगता है. देखो कभी भी ट्रैवल करके जाना और एक म्यूजिक का जो पैशन है वो शेयर करना, उसको एक्सप्रेस करना, दूसरे लोगों के साथ बात करना, इंटरैक्ट करना, जिनका सेम म्यूजिकल इंटरेस्ट है, सेम क्रिएटिव इंटरेस्ट है, वो हमेशा एक बहुत फुलफिलिंग एक्सपीरियंस रहता है. तो हम जब भी बॉम्बे आए यार, वी वर गिवन सो मच लव, इतनी रिस्पेक्ट, इतना प्यार मिला हमें इंडिया आके, जो कि हमेशा अब भी याद करते हैं. हम भी जुल्फी, मैं सुल्तान, हम जब भी हम बैठते हैं हम याद करते हैं कि यार दोस्त फॉर द गुड टाइम्स, जब हम जाते थे और वहां से लोग आते थे और एक अच्छा एक एटमॉस्फेयर था. वी यूज्ड टू गेट एक्साइटेड कि यार वहां से आर्टिस्ट आ रहे हैं, यहाँ परफॉर्म करने के लिए आ रहे हैं, और हम बहुत एक्साइटेड होते थे कि हम जाके वहां पे परफॉर्म करने जा रहे हैं. सो yeah, it was good times.
Good times indeed. Stu, what about you? I understand that of course the Filmfare Award that you spoke about earlier, but you've been involved in the Salvage Audio Collective as well. You guys have won a bunch of awards. Do musicians have resumes? I don't know, but like Gully Boy.
No, but like just comparing our musical universe to say a Pakistan, where they don't have, I mean, I don't mean to be like overtly jealous, but the independent scene, if you can call it that also, is so rich with like classical influences, with like Sufi influences, and that universe of music, even bands, I'm saying, and bands, and like that whole universe of music is not affected by the blanket of Bollywood, where when a Bollywood film comes out, that song is everywhere. And because of it being everywhere, people's taste buds of the people listening to it are sort of dulled down to the actual music that's happening underneath in these classical spaces, in these band spaces, So like, I feel like Pakistan would be a really receptive audience to independent music, because like if you listen to the stuff, I mean, you listen to like the Noora sisters, they like all the writing coming up from Pakistan is so lyrical, it's like, it's so lyrical. The lyrics are everything, and I feel like we may have forgotten that this side of the border. Yeah. It's like all about the loud beats, drums, make it loud, faster. I'm not saying that there isn't good writing, but I feel like Bollywood has a formula.
हाँ, I think वो
that gets a bit.
जो mainstream music है उसका formula तो है. Even yeah, you're right. Even जब call भी जब कर रहा हम शुरू थे, rock itself was a niche. It has been niche, still is. But I think उस वक्त we were lucky at that point कि उस वक्त क्योंकि हमारा जो film music था वो बहुत back end पे था. Film industry उस तरह नहीं थी, तो हमारा जो म्यूजिक जो ऑलरेडी जो फेस था वो यही था, रॉक था. या रॉक जो उस वक्त जो म्यूजिक चल रहा था वाज मेनली रॉक. बैंड कल्चर वाज वेरी मच पॉपुलर, एंड जितनी भी यूथ थी वो हमारे पीछे आ गई थी बिकॉज देयर वाज नथिंग एल्स टू फॉल बैक टू. उससे कुछ था ही नहीं उस तरह. सो आई थिंक वी us bands, we actually represented the youth at that point. We were lucky and we were representing Pakistan. So yes, ये you're right कि it's unfortunate कि Bollywood जो है वो हर चीज को overshadow कर जाता है.
मगर on the flip side, there is this umbrella under which you can.
There's an industry. There's an industry you can tap into for sure. You know, like there's a musicians have a place to go.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but Stu, I feel like, I mean, Bollywood does give you a sort of like a, I mean, I'm sure if you ask Junaid, what's the music scene in Pakistan these days? I mean, you don't have...
well, exactly. Music scene us tarah nahi, unless Coke Studio mein agar you're a part, if you are a pop artist. For a rock band itself,
bro,
we're still a niche.
Can you just take a second for Coke Studio?
Oh, absolutely.
So you have.
Hey, but that's pretty
Coke
much
Studio, dude. Coke Studio Pakistan.
Yeah, you're right. कि the content itself is quite strong, but एक वो बात भी है कि it's actually एक brand का जो push है पीछे, it's an intense push. It's उसके पीछे जितनी investment है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है, और उस investment की भी एक reason है कि वो जो content है वो सामने आता है. It's like किसी भी अगर indie content को अगर आप उतना ही push दें, उतना ही पैसा उस पर invest करें, तो वो भी उतना ही recognize होगा. So
it happens with Nescafe as well, no? Basement Jams.
Exactly.
I think Zulfi produced that, no?
So exactly. So Zulfi जो content produce करता है वो it's so superior, creativity wise, content wise, lyrics, idea के हिसाब से वो तो it's far superior. But of course वो भी उसको भी सामने लाने के लिए there has to have some financial push जो कि brand करता है. And we are glad कि of course there are brands in Pakistan जो कि invest करते हैं, because अगर वो ना होते तो फिर शायद ये भी ना होता. So yes, वो एक बात है कि किसी भी content को आज के दौर में push देने के लिए कोई financial push तो चाहिए है, उसको hammer करने के लिए सामने, उसको visibility को prominent करने के लिए.
So, Stu, sorry, we're going to take half a step back, and we wanted to see if you wanted to chat about your Bollywood experience and with Salvage Audio Collective.
I want to know about this, man.
With Gully Boy, which was a raging success, and of course,
Gully Boy के लिए क्या किया?
On both sides of the border.
Background music.
Oh, see, that's great stuff. Yeah, of course.
I mean, there was. No, I mean, it was a great experience. I'll be frank. It was really wonderful having all of us be able to work on that.
Of course, yeah. I mean, of course, acting world से भी मेरा है ताल्लुक. So I know कि एक जो background music जो है वो कितना impact create करता है एक visual को enhance करने के लिए. और अगर वो sync ना हो और वो time पे emotion पे ना आ रहा हो, तो आपको कोई भी visual जो है वो उस तरह मजेदार लगेगा ही नहीं, चाहे जितना अच्छा शूट किया हो, जितनी अच्छी स्टोरी टेलिंग की हो. एंड गली बॉय में आई वाज नोटिसिंग दिस कि यार ठीक है, कंटेंट अच्छा है, एक्टर्स अच्छे हैं, लेकिन जो म्यूजिक का जो इम्पैक्ट था उस ओवरऑल स्कीम में, वो इट वाज टेकिंग इट टू अनदर लेवल. सो ग्रेट यार.
That's why you won the awards as well. But I feel like yes, Bollywood is this big behemoth that does sometimes overshadow everything else, but then here and there you guys might get those advantages, and you might get those sort of projects that are drastically different from everything else, and they're noticed not within your country but in your neighbor country as well, and the whole world. So I mean,
I guess Bollywood like it permeates through to so many different like places, nah? It's like it's the best medium right now to like be seen in, or like make an impact in the world, have your name out there. For sure, I get it.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much creative freedom does one get, working on a film like that? Any film, as people that design the musical ambiance of a large creative project like that. I mean, a song is a song, but this is multiple elements coming in.
Yeah, I mean, each film is different, man. Like, for example, we did the film called Ye Ballet. It's by this director called Sunit Tapurwala.
Okay.
And she wanted it to be classical, very classical, very neoclassical. And then there's a lot of breakbeat, kind of like Ganpati meets hip hop, that what she wanted to kind of bring in for the non-classical portions of the film, where these guys who are breakdancing want to make that their world. You know, I'm a breakdancer, that's my world. So then we had to like make two separate worlds, one which was like fully classical and one which was like, it's a lot about taste actually. I feel like you need to have like a wide range of aesthetic to be able to speak someone else's language, the director's language in this sense, you know.
With a wide sense of aesthetic and obviously the repertoire that you're able to produce also, whether it's a background score or, you know, whether it's music that you're making, whether it's Yellow Diary or whatever other project that, you know, you touched upon an interesting point and you spoke about musical inspiration. And I know you spoke about that to Junaid, and you spoke about musical inspiration coming from, you know, Sufi music and different formats of classical music in that regard. So Stu, I want to throw this question at you. Do you feel that Indian music, and when I say Indian music, I'm not necessarily talking about Indian musicians with Hindustani classical music, but I'm talking about even with the newer age styles of music that you and your contemporaries and our generation are involved with. Do you see any hints of inspiration or references from musical inspiration that you then cited towards Junaid? Do you see like hints of inspiration from Sufi music or, you know, from any kind of folk music from across the border in musical styles in India with Indian musicians with contemporary music today as well?
Yes. That's the short answer.
All right.
And simultaneously,
no, but I definitely like. No, but like I just want to add that like singers, like in our band, our lead singer is Punjabi, right? And he's grown up listening to Punjabi music, to Urdu music, and his songwriting actually leans more towards the lyrical styles that he heard growing up, listening to strings, listening to Jal, listening to Junoon, because I feel like the bands in that existed at that time were far superior to the bands in like that were making music in India, which were like, I don't know, it was different. I felt like, so he's been raving about like Pakistani bands since forever. He keeps telling me about the Noora sisters, like shouts out about Zoe Vikaji. He had the biggest crush on her. He was like, yo, she was like really cool. Even Rachel Vikaji, I think they were the two sisters that both sang.
Yeah, two sisters.
Yeah, I mean like, yeah, I mean you guys had a really big influence on a lot of Indian people, man. Like I feel like the music scene over there, I don't know what it is like now. I mean, it's really hard to keep tap also, you know, like what's going on now?
Yeah, band culture itself बहुत कम हो चुका है. I think for the past 2 decades, I think वो क्योंकि live shows कम होने खत्म हो गए, security situation, terrorist attacks, blah blah blah. जब live shows कम हुए ना, so that's where band culture fade होना शुरू हो गया, because हम तो rely ही करते हैं on live shows. That's where we inspire people.
Yeah.
जब हम बजाते हैं तभी हम inspire करते हैं. Instrument players को inspire करते हैं जब live सुनते हैं वो. So live gigs जब कम हो गए तो फिर उस वक्त फिर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता band music कम होना शुरू हो गया, फिर solo artists और ये popular music ज़्यादा front line पे आना शुरू हो गया. So I think वही बात है, अब जितनी generation अब है, I think they don't really relate to.
Has EDM hit?
बिल्कुल है. जब events हो रहे थे अब तो pre-corona virus, तो काफी EDM events होना शुरू हो गए थे यहाँ पे. They were planning to somehow bring Tomorrowland here. इस तरह की चीज भी लाने का सोच रहे थे.
Shit. Dude,
so I'm not exactly, maybe or probably something like that. इस तरह की चीजें करना चाह रहे थे because यहाँ से लोग काफी जा रहे थे, जाते हैं, और यहाँ पे जो छोटे मोटे DJ events, इस तरह के EDM events होते थे, वहाँ पे लोग आना शुरू हो गए थे. So there was एक audience बनना शुरू हो गई थी उस तरह की चीजों की भी. So yeah, so band culture itself जो है वो काफी हद तक अभी कम है. I mean artists like us Strings, जो कि अभी तक जो the bands इनके intact हैं, we kind of tend to play. हम कोशिश करते हैं कि अभी भी करें, But I think other than us two, Call and Strings, उसके अलावा कौन सा band? I think Junoon reunited, so yeah, they performed here and there. लेकिन उसके अलावा bands, I don't recall.
Umair's making like a.
Umair को पता
What
होगा.
is that?
Junoon, I mean, yeah, you know, what's the motive behind it? What happened after that? So huge brand push,
चलो.
by the way.
Exactly. चलो. Anything that brings them back together.
वो था बाकी but you know, the glory days are gone. Ali Azmad rules the throne. Band culture, you're right. No, but this is interesting. So it seems like, and both of you guys have been in bands, and you guys are still together with your bands. So what is it that makes bands break, and how do you guys keep it together, man? Like,
yeah, of course. देखो, solo artist में तो ये मसला नहीं है कि you are your own boss. ठीक है, you don't have to, आपको किसी को manage नहीं करना. But in a band, it's a relationship. और किसी भी relationship में there emotion involved हो जाता है, फिर there are egos involved, role sharing is involved. So I think वो is just like any other job, any other relationship, be it wife, husband, father, son, siblings. जहाँ पे जहाँ पे there are यहाँ पे आपको manage करना पड़ता है दूसरों को, जहाँ पे आपको कभी-कभार compromise करना पड़ता है, कभी-कभार dominate करना पड़ता है. So it's वो उसी equation में at times when you are young, जब आप जवान होते हैं, आप ज़्यादा passionate होते हैं और insecure भी होते हैं, aggressive भी होते हैं. So emotions कभी-कभार you know आपको मजबूर कर देते हैं कि आप clash एक आ जाए relationship में. तो वो चीजें होती हैं. I think वो at time once you grow mature और आप जब अपने आप को जब आप cleanse करते हैं तो फिर वो चीजें ठीक होना शुरू हो जाती हैं. तो I think वो आपको वही बात है, honeymoon period आपको थोड़ा सा गुजारना पड़ता है. honeymoon period को आप
Stu, what do you think? Do you agree, or do you think
I'll be concise,
he's broken
I think
broken into
no,
acting?
I mean,
So
he's
now
right.
you can say
He's
this.
right. No, but like a chilled touring schedule is what is required. If you're in everybody's faces constantly, there's gonna be fighting. You know, like especially when you're like on the road and you're gigging and you're tired after that, and someone says something that like. And your bandmates know which buttons to press. You know, sometimes they'll just be like, "Chal, dabate yaar, dekhte kya." Yeah, and when you're tired and all, that can be stressful. You know, that can be like some heat. So I think casual touring schedules, bro. Like everyone gets there comfortably, in a good mood, well slept. Yes, that's my secret.
That's an interesting take. I think one of the themes that we touched upon last time with film, and I think the same theme applies to music as well, is that the beauty of like art forms like film and music, they have no boundaries, right? And I think Stu, you touched upon that briefly when you spoke about, of course, the Call and like Junoon and Wraith and the bands that we grew up to in our days of kind of getting exposed to rock music. And at that point of time, there were so many people who didn't even know where these bands were from, in that context. And literally music having no boundaries and art having no boundaries in that form. And I'm sure there are millions of fans of Junaid, your Pakistani bands like yours in India, and Stu, of course, with you guys with your experimental style and new with your new band, and of course with the Bollywood segue as well, racking up a big fan base around the world. Of course that means that both of you guys have fans for the work that you do across the border. Any message to your fans on either side of the border in terms of how you think your music helps bridge the gap? Junaid, you want to go first?
यार मैं तो ये कहना चाहूंगा कि जितना हम प्यार एक दूसरे से करते हैं, हमें उसको डिस्प्ले करना चाहिए. आई थिंक जितने भी प्लेटफॉर्म्स हमारे पास हैं, अब सोशल मीडिया तो ऑफ कोर्स मेक्स इट क्वाइट इजियर. वरना पहले तो ये होता था ना कि जो भी चीज यहाँ से निकलती थी वो फिल्टर हो जाती थी. बट आई थिंक नाउ इट्स मच इजियर. वी हैव सोशल प्लेटफॉर्म्स, यू कैन एक्सप्रेस द लव फॉर ईच अदर ओपनली, एंड वी नीड टू डू दैट यार. वी नीड टू गो बियॉन्ड. वी नीड टू स्टॉप फॉलोइंग जो हेट ऊपर चल रहा है. वो चल रहा है, चलता रहेगा. आई डोंट नो, वी शुडंट केयर अबाउट दैट. वी शुड बी कोलैबोरेटिंग. वी शुड बी क्रिएटिंग स्पेस जहाँ पे हम एक दूसरे के साथ ज्यादा डिस्कशन कर सकें, बात कर सकें, डायलॉग कर सकें और क्रिएटिव स्पेस शेयर कर सकें. हम आर्ट में collaborate कर सकें, म्यूजिक बनाएं, हम आपस में acting project साथ करें, हम आपस में technical चीजें आपस में share करें. There's so much to learn from each other that we can. और इतने हम तो actually हम साथ होते तो हम तो वाकई हम दुनिया फतह कर लेते. Creative point of view से बात कर रहा हूँ कि हम इतना चीजें हम मिलके जो produce कर लेते. So we need to really love each other and express openly about it. Be open about it.
Yeah, मुझे एक Stu, something you spoke about, and I really appreciate that you guys started off speaking about the financial aspect. So it's not like this romantic vision of art, you know. It's something that has to be a lifestyle as well. So it just segues from that, and then you spoke about how, you know, you do too many gigs or you put too much pressure on the band. Speaking just in terms of band dynamics, and it starts to break. You can see the cracks. So assume that you are at, you know, X level of notoriety or whatever it is that, and you want to go higher, right? So what would you do? Would you go like, ठीक है यार, और shows करते हैं, given that shows are a big source of revenue, or at least they were in a pre-COVID time? Would you do more shows and risk, you know, putting that stress on your band, or would you go like, नहीं यार, shows उतनी करेंगे, मगर ticket price बढ़ा देते हैं, भाड़ में जाए अगर गरीब लोग नहीं आ सकते, कोई बात नहीं, fuck that shit.
See, I mean, I think you may have misunderstood when I said that there's going to be heat in a hectic schedule. I mean, we'll fight, but like a band is like a family, you know, like nothing's going to happen if you like tour incessantly nonstop. But that being said, in this hypothetical situation that you have created, you tour less, yeah. Like, you know.
You toured less?
Yeah. It's COVID now, you know, like you see, the thing is, if you realize this in a financial state of like going through bands' income sheets, if you're getting the demand to do 20 gigs a month, if you actually decide to do 5 gigs and have more people there, it's a better use of your time.
He's trying to teach us
Makes
marketing
sense.
now.
नहीं सही बोला है.
ये देखो ये चीजें जो है ना, ये हमें ये वो है ना, first world problems, you know, कि इतने shows हो रहे हैं यार, हमें कम करने चाहिए, इतने shows हो रहे हैं, इतने कम करने चाहिए. हमारा उल्टा है, हम तो चाहते हैं कि shows हो. So
diminishing marginal utility.
That's true. It's a hypothetical, yeah. Can't dream.
Guys, we got 2 quick rapid fire questions for you guys before we call it a night, a very, very late night.
Oh, damn, we've gone over.
Yeah. So 2 quick questions for you guys. Same question, Junaid, you can go first, Stu, you can go next. What is the theme song or the title track or the soundtrack to your life?
My life, मेरा soundtrack would clearly be Sab Bhula Ke. I truly believe, I believed in this, and I still believe in that.
Umair doesn't look happy.
Your own song. I mean, come on.
हाँ, of course यार, सब बुला के फिर भी चला. मेरी philosophy यही है कि यार जो चीजें past experiences है उनको आप रख के take courage from them, learn from them, and move on. So I still believe in that. Sums it up.
Stu.
Nice, man.
It's more than a romantic track.
You can't ask me this question.
What? Why can't we ask you this question?
I mean, I have so many songs. I mean, like each stage of my life has like different songs that
Yeah,
have
your
attached
life is
themselves to my like memory.
Stu, your life is a movie, and at that trigger.
Okay, my first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, which one?
The first time my heart opened to music was when I was a teenager and I was listening to Limp Bizkit.
Oh,
I
nice.
was like, there was this one song
A
called
Biscuit fan.
Break Stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Break Stuff. That song was like such a release of like teenage angst for me. I just like was like into it, you know. It's like,
Dude, yeah.
Limp
Bizkit used to be the shit,
song.
man. अब embarrassing है अगर किसी को बोलो ना, oh yeah, तुम Limp Bizkit
Dude.
सुनते हो. क्या man, क्या तुम क्या?
नहीं.
Dude, they're timeless.
हाँ, नहीं. बिल्कुल भी embarrassing नहीं है तो.
Do we hear a few lines coming on?
It's just one of those days where you don't want to break up. Can't do the rest, bro.
Nice. And last question, Junaid, you go first, you go next. One song, not your song, one song you wish you had written.
अच्छा. One song that I would have written.
I get everything.
Blackbird, I think Blackbird, Alter Bridge. It's a crazy.
Nice.
I really love that song. And also musically, not just lyrically, musically as well.
What a guitar song! It's a guitar work, and that is just like stunning. Stunning.
Junaid is
Wow.
true.
What a
Junaid, you're true to
song.
your Alter Bridge. You talk about Creed. The post-grunge movement. I think it's still like in your system. Those were great. That was a great time for music. I'm also a big fan of that whole movement, by the way.
हाँ, it's pretty much still there यार. मुझे होता है अभी भी feel होता है कि यार अब जब भी मैं देखता हूँ कभी बार इनके clips, Alter Bridge वगैरह के live shows, इतने को बड़े shows नहीं होते. I don't know, maybe 3-4 हज़ार का crowd होगा, maybe not more than that. So थोड़ा सा होता है कि यार of course दुनिया में itself थोड़ा सा कम है. लेकिन still I'm a huge fan of that kind of a guitar playing. I think मुझे Tremonti से introduction हुआ था, Creed से हुआ था, लेकिन I've really seen him evolve as a guitar player, as a songwriter. So Alter Bridge is one of those reasons that I started following. I think Tremonti was one of the reasons I started following Alter Bridge. और उस तरह की जो guitar playing
Tremonti is a badass player. It's too good.
Stu, how about you?
A song I wish I had written. Blowing in the Wind.
Umair, what about you? Why don't we do this as well?
I mean,
Yeah, break stuff from Limp Bizkit, man. What the hell? I have the Fred Durst, बस टोपी उल्टी पहननी है और गालियाँ देनी और my wife says I still have the wardrobe of a 90s kid. अभी तक वो baggy pants और वो oversized shit तो पहनता हूँ. So I can go that route.
Nice.
Okay, Suveer.
Me?
Yeah.
For me, it's Def Leppard, Hysteria.
Oh, nice.
Damn it, I want to change mine now.
Really, I want to change mine also, actually.
Shoot, go ahead.
I'm thinking Bohemian Rhapsody, man.
Nice. Fair.
That's like, it's like a magnum opus, it's like a lot of like work that's gone into it. I want to do one of those big ones.
Tangent मैं बोलूँगा मैं Prince हूँ मैंने Purple Rain लिखना है ठीक है सही है we can dream man.
And with that, guys, we come to the end of our very, very late hour. Thank you so much for giving us so much of your time. Appreciate you guys taking the time out and doing this for us. It means a lot to us. Thank you, Junaid. Thank you, Stu. Very glad you could join us today.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, Junaid. Dude, we should definitely do something. I'm going to get you to record on some cool stuff, man. I'm going to send you some demo tracks.
Of course, of course. That's done.
Amazing. All right, bye, guys.
Okay, thanks, guys.